stones that big again in my life. I quarried everything from up above and outer roads. So that's what I did today. This is a vegetable garden, so in another episode you'll see that all cleaned up. And highlighted our bulbs and other rock work. These are mimosas that need to come back for the year. These are all poppies. All the little fruitlings coming out. This is not my property. I just like to say that a few times because I put each one of those in when they were just little babies. As far as we know, we are the first creatures to rise to this level, to have this power, to have this ability, the things that we can do in this form. That's why some cultures and religions believe that we are the blessed form, that it's a gift to be in this form above all others. The ability to understand mortality, to understand the beginnings and the end. So I see 6 or 7 billion gardeners, scientists, dreamers. If one person could be an Einstein, we have 7 billion possibilities now. I see the ability to fix this entire planet, feed and house everyone on it, make the entire thing a garden. I need 7 billion stewards, taking care of every inch of the planet, shaping it like you want it to be, making it yours. The looking down upon the trades needs to stop. Your gardeners, your earth workers are just as valuable as your doctors and your lawyers. The wages are insanely different, and the entire footprint of the world ends up being broken up into smaller and smaller squares, and when it comes down to it, the people at the very bottom are the ones with the hands-on. And I invite you to put your hands into the dirt, to learn about it, to control your food, to control your footprint, to have a say in it, to have a say in your world, and enjoy it and reap the beauty. Please come with me on the Dirt Journal and see what we can learn and what we can find together. So this is in reclaimed land. You can see how close the creek comes. It actually comes in here every year, fills up this orchard with silt, and that's actually a good mechanism. You can see there's bark that I laid down, and then the little layer of silt that comes in, and that's a good thing. That's a lot of nutrients. It brings with it some weeds. So here's our desirable poppies. Here's the weeds. Here's some cold stacked rock work that I did, pinning down some logs. You can see this fresh in other dirt journals, so the bark is starting to go away a little bit. Still looks pretty good. We can peel it down at this point. The back of it's still being protected from the earth a little bit, even as you peel it, and it's important. I wish all these beds, you know, it's really good to keep your beds capped off and to have organics and stuff stacked up to the very top of your rock so that you don't get the wedge effect of the earth so much. It can insulate it a little bit. Whatever, life happens. Kids come along looking for lizards, all kinds of things. But this is logs laid in here. I've gone through with the weed whacker and ground it. That's why it looks all clean as compared to that. Before, after, and then you expose the faces, skim the top. I even actually edged it a little bit. It's a trick so your rocks pop out. Sorry to move around so much. Hyper and hurrying at work. But these logs are pine, digger pine, one of the worst types of soft wood. Their ends go in here. There's one big boulder securely placed on each one of these ends. You pop those out, replace it. Simple dirt packed behind it and topped with gravel. And the gravel actually disappeared, and we got a fine little moss layer that grows underneath the grass. So you skim it down and then you rake it off and it looks like that. But what I was saying about the dirt level You see how we're not letting it get down below here, because then each step starts kicking against your kickers, which these are secured. They run into the rocks. So that, not super far, but just enough so that they're pinned. There's rock being held by that kicker, log, boom, one on top of it, the dirt. And that's what it looks like when you stand back. So it's quick. This is really quick. Grab your natural stones and logs and stuff and go boom, boom, boom and tamp your dirt behind it. But don't let it get low to where you're kicking out, eroding, catching water, making little dams, all that. This is our bark in here breaking down. It's looking good. Ooh, look at fungus land. That's actually a type of fungus there that grew. That's its bloom, of course, on the surface. Blah! Come on. If you understood the dirt out here to start with, then you'd know how cool that is. Okay, I made that. This is not Nate's bragging show. These are trees that I put in. These are an orchard because their roots are in water, and we have 120 degrees, not exaggerating. They are like this no matter how much I chop at them, so they're getting that awesome look. It's going to be fat, stocky, can hold up all of your fruit without props and sticks and stuff. So I have a lot of growth, so I can prune them back, prune them back, prune them back. This is probably my last month at this property. So these are also the goodbye videos for this. This one has some curl. It's wet down here. It tends to kick it off all on its own. If you don't react and you start, we'll put food on it. We'll treat it like a human or an animal. We'll make the entity, and it will cure its own diseases. And that's the best way to deal with it, believe me. We also have ants crawling on here. They might start to farm aphids and carry stuff around, so we'll put a little bit of sticky stuff around the base, and they can't crawl past it. We also have beetles crawling around, trying to eat them, and fruit forming already if you look here and here and here. And here it is at the top. It's getting some sunshine, which it's had rain and everything else, so they tend to be kind of fungusy like us. And here's all the new growth. Here's the original stuff. Here's the new growth at the tops. Almost no curl, no blights. Okay, so as it starts to get sunshine, it's got food and water, it can kick it off itself. So, crazy bachelor button with an ant on you too. Just dug these out an hour ago or whatever with the weed whacker. And it's just, look down there. But there's little crazy fuchsias and stuff, so I got to hand weed that. And we have another peach, apples. And those are all edible grapes. Edible grapes in Napa? I know, it's weird. They used to do that. And then you could just eat them. They were for food. And actually all of the bottom of all of the valleys of California used to grow food. There was food, and they were feeding people. What was I saying? Yeah, so these are actual edible grapes. Like, kids could eat these. I think it's really awesome. And that's what I did. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're just run on baling wire cable in between some tea stakes, so that they're not actually on the fence. And I cut them down that much every year, and they grow back like mad. I'll have to nip them again, and they'll dump grapes for us. And there's the creek. Simple edges, some iris, reed logs, native rocks to make a turret. I'll show you the garden revamp next. Look at this hillside. Oh, those are all dandelions, but that's what the hills do out here. That's just one of the flowers that's flushing. And lower, 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 lower mineral. And that's the grade of the garden. So this is a swale where all the water from the upper property comes down and into here and passes through this on its way out to the creek. Wait till you see this sharpened up. These are all rock borders and stuff. This is how far you can let it go. As long as no seeds, as long as no seeds are falling off of the stuff. That's what I'm watching. We've had to do everything else. And little neck, and the bees are eating. So there's good things about waiting on this and that, you know. Do triage on do your list, and prioritize your list, and base your list on the patterns of your individual little spot and your plants. Yuck, dandelions. You can't have dandelions. We have to get rid of those. This is the enemy. Right? Isn't that what they told you? That's what they told me. I spent a long time taking care of lawns, worrying about dandelions. Contrast. More dandelions. Ah, it's dandelions! It's okay. We're using them here. Mixed with some crimson clovers. They're hiding the last of the stuff that we laid down. And there's the wall. That's what the ground looks like. That's what happens when you retain it. You get some soil behind it. And you let the flowers take over. And it looks okay. Stairs, these will be poppy stairs. More use of logs. And then here's this bed, spilling out, same thing. We ripped it open and now what's coming back is nice divided up colors. So it looks super thick, but nothing is matted over. You don't have last year's dead laying anywhere. Everything is sharp, it's new growth. Look at the lines in here, you can actually see patches of each thing. So that's one of the things I try and do while mixing them together, and nature does the rest. But yeah, here's a row of iris. These are all scabioses of different colors that'll get tall here. Crazy sages. Thanks for watching, and if you're enjoying this, don't forget that on the Quest for Details homepage, if you click on the videos, then it will take you to all of the videos that I've posted in the past. They're all still there saved, and there's quite a few of them, and they grow every day.